What's going on, guys? A huge moment is upon us. A moment we've all been waiting for. Batman v Superman. That collision is hitting movie theaters, and we are going to give you a spoiler-free review. The review will give our feelings on the movie, but there are not going to be any plot points revealed that haven't already been revealed in the trailers. And we have a couple of our favorite screen junkies to talk about it with. First, he's the movie fights champion, Mr. Dan Merle, and the bearded menace himself, Andy Signore. So gentlemen, what'd you guys think?
I think there's a lot to unpack about this movie. I think there's some good things about this movie. I think there's some issues with this movie, and I think that it's going to be a great discussion for months to come.
Yeah. Something I'd like to lead with, everyone is wondering, Ben Affleck as Batman, are we on board?
I think a lot of people are going to be eating crow, and I think they're going to have to admit that Affleck was a good Batman.
Okay.
I think we can start there and say Ben Affleck does deliver a strong Batman. I want to see him again. Overall, I'm excited about where this Batman can go.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Batman. I love Jeremy Irons as Alfred. I thought that Gal Gadot was good as Wonder Woman. I look forward to seeing more of her. I like Henry Cavill. I never disliked him as Superman. But let me get back to Ben Affleck, because Andy's right. There are people that are going to be eating a lot of crow, including, I think, us. When that was like, Ben Affleck is Batman.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Batfleck did it for you.
Batfleck did it, and what I liked about Batman is this is a darker, this is a grittier, this is a more brutal, this is a more violent Batman than we've ever seen.
Older,
but what the movie does set up really well, and what I wish they'd gone into more, is why, and they explain why, which is that when you have a god living amongst you, people do get resentful, and they get angry, because all of a sudden now they are inferior.
Yeah.
And they feed that, and they explain that very well with Batman's character as to why this is a more brutal version.
I don't mind that Batman was more violent. He is. Yeah. Be warned, he kills people. If you're not into that, you're not going to like this Batman.
Yeah.
But I was able to look past that and see, and I agree with what Dan said, like, I liked why he didn't like Superman. It made sense to me. The beginning of the movie is fantastic when you see Affleck, all that sort of, they're teasing him going against the rubble and seeing the carnage of Superman. It's an amazingly smart and awesome build-up. And then you got about 2 hours of various scenes and things happening, cutting back and forth, and so many plots that could have been taken away and didn't need to be in the movie.
Yeah. There are 5 movies inside of this movie.
Wow.
There is a sequel to Man of Steel, which is about the repercussions of what happened.
Yes.
There's a solo Batman movie that's setting up Batman. There's a Batman v Superman movie, which is about their ideological differences. There is a Lex Luthor movie, which is about Lex Luthor and his dislike of Batman.
Gotcha.
And there's a Justice League setup movie, which is about introducing characters from the Justice League. But there's nothing tying it all together.
There's no through line, so there's no randomness to it.
It's like a 1 hour, it's like Game of Thrones, you're only getting one episode. It's like, because they zoom around so much, but you don't have the history of knowing who these people are or investing, so they're zipping through so much, I'm like, wait, where am I supposed to stand and get grounded and get connected to a character? I couldn't.
Sometimes that style works because at the end, there was a method to the madness. It all adds up to something. You feel like it didn't quite
because they were giving
achieve its goal.
Right, because it's not like they were developing everything separately to all tie it up together. They were giving short shrift to everything.
Gotcha.
The best part for me in this movie was actually the inner turmoil of Superman, where I just don't think they focus any energy into it. There's a couple moments where Superman's wrestling with, what do I do with my powers? And then you have this interesting idea of the world pushing back and saying, you shouldn't be doing that. And they never really give it to you.
There's a point where they're doing an interview on TV and somebody asks this question, should there be a Superman? That is a great question. That is a fantastic question.
Yeah.
That is a question that should have had its own movie.
Its own
Man
movie,
of Steel 2. Should there be a Superman about exactly that thing?
So we feel and learn the Superman, because I think Cavill has a great Superman in him. And again, we've been saying this, so people think we're biased, but it's like, it's just, they're rushing it.
Let me take a step back for a second. Sure. So you're saying it doesn't quite add up as a movie. What about being immersed in this DC world? Is that an experience that can...
But they don't immerse you in it. That's the thing, is setting up the DC universe is given no more importance than anything else in the movie. Other than Wonder Woman, the Justice League tie-ins in this movie, a few in particular, are so lazily shoehorned into the movie, and just the most basic.
Literally the music cues, like you're like seeing like, you're, okay. Here's the Justice League tie-in.
I feel a little bit like you're telling me there's no Santa Claus or the Emperor has no clothes or something here. I still want to go in and see it. I'm still excited to see this movie.
And you should.
In spite of you telling me there's no Santa Claus. I'm going to go in that movie still believing in Santa Claus. So I want to ask you some specific things.
Sure.
Was there enough action?
Batman gets a scene that is amazing.
The best Batman action ever.
It's awesome.
In any movie ever.
The Batman Superman fight is great as well, especially if you see it in the IMAX.
Yeah.
The IMAX kicks in the full 70mm and then they start to fight.
There's no way that's not going to be cool, and watching them fight is cool, but you have to do more than just see them fight. It is a cool
it can't
fight.
just be about it looks cool.
But there has to be more to it, and the substance of it, the motivations behind it are botched a little bit.
Yeah, what's the
The
end game? What's
resolution
gonna happen?
of it is an interesting moment.
Okay.
And I have to take Warner Brothers marketing to task a lot here, because for people saying that, like, well, the trailers didn't spoil that much, that is not true.
Gotcha.
Almost every major
spoiled
reveal, every major line.
Everything you saw in the trailer is there.
Okay,
That's
so
the movie.
Here's another thing I'm really curious about.
Sure.
Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg, his portrayal.
I'm trying to be positive, but
No, here's what I'll say about Lex Luthor. This is whenever anyone asks me about Lex Luthor, here's what I'll say. If you like the approach that you've seen in the trailers, then you'll probably like him.
if you were worried, your worry was justified.
Yeah.
He went for it. He goes all out with it.
Yeah.
But I just found it to be distracting and annoying.
One thing you guys have touched on a little bit, I want to know about Gal Gadot and the portrayal of Wonder Woman.
I was a fan.
Yeah, she's cool in the movie. I wish that we had a Wonder Woman movie first, because we see her do things that would, I think, been a lot cooler if we knew what Wonder Woman could do exactly in this universe. She is a force to be reckoned with. She kicks ass.
Because I really want to see this Wonder Woman. I want to see more of this Wonder Woman.
Yes.
I think the casting actually works.
And we will, yeah.
She didn't need to be in this movie.
Do you feel that we're now set up for a standalone Justice League movie?
Poorly.
I'm worried. I'm worried, I'll be honest.
The choices made for the introduction or the teasing of certain characters is curious.
If it had gotten me excited, I would have been okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't like them.
There's one reveal in particular that I was watching, and I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, the way you're describing the introduction of those superheroes, it's reminding me a little bit of what I thought about The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Rhino at the end of it. Like, you just see a moment
honestly,
of him, and then it's like,
I thought it felt very Spider-Man 2. They definitely needed another Superman movie.
Yeah.
That's where I'm frustrated, because Superman movie with a little bit of Batman would have been the perfect to then build up, which this could have been a Justice League movie.
They blew it. I'm sorry, but they did. They didn't deliver as well as they could have, because they were so concerned with other stuff. And it's a real shame, because I see 3 or 4 good movies inside of this movie. But none of them are given enough time to develop, and it just becomes a hodgepodge. And if I could just end with a plea to the fans of this movie, and there will be fans of this movie, and we hear you, and I would just ask that we understand that there's praise for this movie. We share some of your praise. I would just ask that you not bash our head in.
I'd love to have another conversation with this longer when we can talk spoilers, and I think we'll figure out a way to do that either here on ScreenJunkies.com. But I think it would be nice to talk to the fans. Like, I want to know what, and maybe they can talk me into figuring out what were they building that I missed.
Well, I know you guys love this stuff, and you go in wanting to like it, and I appreciate your honesty. And I will also say, I'm still looking forward to the experience. I really want to take it in.
As you should.
You should
Thank
be.
you.
Yes.
Are you looking forward to it? Are you excited about it? Are you a little bit nervous? Let us know in the comments section below, because I want to know what you thought about Batman v Superman. Dan Murrell, thank you for your frankness, your candor.
Thank you.
Andy Signore, always
Bring on
coming
the
with
hate.
honesty. I'm at Hal Rudnick. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit them up on Twitter. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Hey, Screen Junkies, now that we've weighed in on Batman v Superman, you can weigh in on our own epic contest, the honest trailer for Batman 89 versus the honest trailer for Superman 78. So click your favorite now, even on your phone, and make your choice. Your views will decide the winner and determine a future honest trailer.